All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video. Kyle Shanahan spoke to the media today for the first time this week, and we had a number of interesting things that he brought up. We'll hit that next. And of course, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out in Emeryville and Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Go say hi to Damon and Mary. Tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. And also, this video is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Check that link in the description. Use the promo code Krug, K-R-U-E-G, and they will match you up to your first $100. All right, Kyle Shanahan spoke to the media just now, and there were a number of interesting revelations. One, the Chargers have called and formally asked to interview Niners defensive coordinator Steve Wilks for their head coaching opening. Wilks, of course, has been around the league. He was the interim head coach of the Carolina Panthers when the Niners brought him in to be the defensive coordinator. And I would imagine he will get more than one interview in this coaching cycle. Wilks has got experience as a head coach. He's got experience as a defensive coordinator. He's done a nice job here in San Francisco, and I would imagine he'll get a number of interviews this offseason. A couple other notes from today. Kyle said every individual player has to focus on trying to improve and trying to get better during this bye week and during this off time, that it's, it's not on him to give a fire and brimstone type speech, but that each guy's got to take it unto himself to try to improve, incrementally, and, collective incremental improvement. Obviously his hope, the hope is leads to a team wide growth and improvement before the Niners play in the divisional round on the 20th or the 21st of January. He was asked about Jim Harbaugh and if he knows Jim Harbaugh and if he's ever talked to Jim Harbaugh and how he feels about Jim Harbaugh, seeing that Jim Harbaugh just won the national championship with the Michigan Wolverines. And Kyle said that he knows John better, but that he's talked to Jim on the phone a few times on a number of different issues, usually when the Niners are scouting Michigan players. He's got huge respect for him. He says he's a huge fan of his. It was cool to watch him in Indianapolis as a player. And obviously just said nothing but positive things about Jim Harbaugh. Kyle was asked about how they're going to get ready for the playoff teams. He says each coach has their individual thing that they're looking at, but that they will take all four teams and take a deep dive basically the rest of the week on all four teams, preparing as much as they can to play any of the four opponents. Those four opponents include Philly, Tampa Bay, the Rams, or the Green Bay Packers. Kyle was asked about, week 18 and the loss to the Rams, and he said it was great to get some of the younger guys and some of the reserves some run. He said it was great to get Sam Darnold some run because obviously he hasn't played a whole lot this year. And they may need him in the playoffs if there's an injury and something unforeseen happens. So he commented on that. He also mentioned that Eric Armstead should return to practice this week. Armstead battling two injuries, a knee and maybe more severely a plantar fasciitis injury in the foot. He has not played, I believe, since week 13. He's had a lot of time to rest it, and it's good news that Armstead is returning to practice because the 49ers against the run are night and day with Armstead on the field as opposed to when he's not on the field. They are a much better run defense with Eric Armstead, according to the numbers. He was asked about Logan Ryan and Jair Brown and how Logan Ryan has played and will Jair Brown take that job back when Jair gets healthy. Jair's out with a knee sprain. He said Logan Ryan's been great, and they really love what they've seen from Logan. He's been a great addition. He's very communicative on the back end. But Kyle wouldn't commit to Ryan and said that Jair Brown did a lot of great things. And I'll just tell you right now, when Jair Brown gets healthy, I think he's going to take that job back. I think it's pretty clear that Logan Ryan is not as physical as Jair Brown. He's a totally different type of a player. He's a smart player. He'll be in position to make a play, but he doesn't offer that kind of physicality or striking ability in the run game, nor does he offer the big play making ability that Jair provides, though Logan Ryan is not a slouch and he knows how to play the game. But I think it's pretty safe to say when Jair Brown, if he gets healthy from the knee sprain, he'll be back in there over Logan Ryan. Juwan Jennings is out of the concussion protocol, which it took a while for JJ to get out of there. He's obviously a major key for the 49ers because of his toughness and his ability to make huge pressure catches in some of the biggest moments. Niners worked out veteran corner Casey Hayward today. They're looking for more nickel corner help, and they're looking at the veterans that are out there on the street. Hayward, of course, has NFL experience, played with the Packers. And Jason Verrett, they wanted to go with Verrett, but Verrett, got hurt in practice last week and tore his rotator cuff, and he's out for the year, probably done for the rest of his career. So they looked at Casey Hayward today, though there was no official news on whether the Niners would sign Hayward or not. And the 49ers also opened the George Odom practice window this week. Odom has been out. He's been on the IR, and they'll take a look. And, this is another huge kind of under the radar type thing for the 49ers. Why? Because George Odom is not a good player. George Odom's a great player. He just happens to be a special teams great player. And so most people, they think of, the team as offense and defense and special teams as a distant third. But, George Odom is a great defensive player. And there's no question that, if they can get him back on special teams, they want him back on special teams. We're talking about a guy who led the league in special teams tackles. And I forgot to mention it, but Kyle Shanahan said today that Clelin Ferrell will miss a few weeks with the knee injury that he suffered in Week 18 against the Rams. So nothing serious, but that Clelin Ferrell definitely will miss a few weeks, which is pretty much what Ferrell indicated to me in the locker room when I spoke to him after the game. So the 49ers are on track to be relatively healthy for their divisional round playoff game. I think there's a very good chance the Green Bay Packers will be sitting there for them because I think the Packers may go to Texas and knock off the Cowboys. The Packers are the lowest remaining seed. If they win that game, nothing else matters this weekend for the Niners. It won't be the Ram Lion game won't matter. The Eagle Buck game won't matter. If the Packers beat the Cowboys, the Packers will be at Levi's. And when the Niners play them or play anybody in that first playoff game, it sounds like Eric Armstead, Juwan Jennings, Jair Brown, Tayshaun Gibson, Ambry Thomas, and George Odom will all be back in the fold, which will make the 49ers a dramatically better football team. So overall, a pretty good press conference from Kyle Shanahan. They're looking at, reinforcements at slot corner. Guys are making their way back via injury. And the 49ers are going to concentrate the rest of this week on taking a look at the 4 possible opponents that they may face on January 20th or 21st and prepare as much as they can. And then as soon as it's determined which of those 4 opponents are going to be their divisional round, first round playoff matchup, they will do the deepest of deep dives in preparation for that opponent. Once again, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, Philadelphia, and the Rams are the 4 options of teams that potentially could come to Levi's in late January to be the Niners' first playoff opponent as they try to make a run to Las Vegas and win their 6th Lombardi Trophy. All right, that does it for the Shanahan presser update. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krug Show. Thanks to Underdog Fantasy for sponsoring this video as well. Thanks to all you guys for supporting the Krug Show on YouTube.